Okay, we are now live.
Okay.
Okay, what contact info would you like me to give out on air?
Fizzandsack.com, our social media at Fizzandsack. Yeah, best way they can contact us through our website at fizzandsack.com. So all our social media handles. Yeah, I am.
Okay. And do you go by Raymond James?
Raymond James, yeah. Another good financial
I know, right?
name, right?
When I looked you up on Twitter and LinkedIn, of course, and everything, you know, so you type in Raymond James, it's all the financial stuff.
Yeah.
There it is. So I just opened and there you were. Hey, that could be Amanda. We may be switching view. You right?
Yeah.
Could be Amanda.
Oh, okay. All right.
Howdy.
Hi.
All right. Just be all in the phone, it'll be perfect. Okay. What? Please start in a couple minutes.
Are you expecting Amanda?
She wasn't sure.
She wasn't
She
sure.
was not sure. She's big deal now because she's the new president of the Sac Metro Chamber, so she's got a busy schedule. Anyway, no, she had said she had maybe had a meeting this morning, so she wasn't sure.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll just let's just check the two mics.
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Good call.
Sounds good. Can't hear me now. Will we be able to hear her?
All right, Jerry. Test 1 2.
Test 1 2. Hello. Test.
A little louder. There you go.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. And these are directional mics.
Okay.
So if you move your head like I do when you talk, you look at it and out. So
Yeah.
try to
Okay.
speak
Just
into
keep it
it.
right.
You got it. Try to speak into it as best you
Right
can.
there. Yeah.
And Jerry will give. God, that's too close. Jerry will give me a signal as we're getting closer to the commercial
Okay.
break, which will be fingers. So the less fingers I have, that's how many minutes are left.
Okay.
So. And then the old, cutting at the throat is basically.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's yeah.
Because he will go to commercial. He will go to commercial. So we've got four segments.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll just cover your background.
It's a
do you
pretty
wanna
crazy
sing?
background. Do I want to sing?
I'm just kidding. I'll
Gosh.
put you on the spot, unless you like acapella. But we'll cover your background.
Yeah.
We'll go through how you got to where you are, and what you're doing
Yeah.
with Fizz and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds good to me.
Cover as well, like the civic stuff.
And I'll tell you what, the financial side of just getting Fizz together from someone who hasn't, it's fast. I mean,
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
no, it's fascinating. I think also for a young person that wants to start something, it's really good to know, like, how the hell did you do it?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I joke, like, how the heck did I convince 20-something people to give me money?
Yeah.
It's wild. People I didn't know.
Well, good. That'll be great. That'll be really interesting to talk
Yeah.
about. You don't have to listen to names.
No,
if you
of course
want
not.
to, so
Yeah.
just keep there. But that'll be good to talk about. And
Yeah.
did you also go after? Did you also go after? Try to go after like bank or?
Yeah. So I did both. So I have bank funding.
Okay.
5-star. They're great. I
Oh,
told
good.
them I'd plug them.
Well, we had 5-star on the show before.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
Great,
Yeah.
great bank.
They are.
Great community. Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
Well, good. So we can talk about that process
Yeah.
too.
It
So-
really was just so fascinating. And then I had another bank, one of my investors, they were an investor or they're an owner in this other community bank, to get a loan from them, right? Get money from them. And I said, well, I already have secured funding from 5-star, but I'll go to them, as courtesy you want me to, blah, blah, blah. So I go, and one of the head VPs calls me, and he basically calls me, just say, this is a courtesy call, let you know we're not going to give you any money. And have you heard of crowdfunding? And he said, no bank's going to give you any money. And I was like, well, actually,
One has.
one has, and they've given me this amount,
Thank you
so
very
I'm
much.
good, thank you, yeah.
Did you pursue any crowdfunding at all?
No.
We actually had a guy on the show, gosh, it's got to be 3 years ago now, who is involved with a app
Mhm.
that puts together kind of crowdfunding,
Yeah.
kind of microloans sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting guys, and somehow it's based out of Oregon.
Well,
But anyway,
I
so
think
those are
maybe-
kind of interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that, you know, certainly that works for some people. In fact, I think we had Randy Selman on.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he was looking at doing some sort of crowdfunding for something. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
I can see that for I was gonna say smaller amounts, but maybe they go bigger.
No, I mean, it can. It just depends on what you're going to give the people. But usually I've
That's
seen
true, huh?
it, you know, in researching it, I've seen it working more for like a tangible retail type
Right.
item versus like an establishment. And
Can you
because
give them
of-
like a month's
Oh, I
worth of
could
free
have, but
champagne.
it would have been like, I think someone would have ended up just deciding if I would have done it that way, they just would have opened it up before me. I think someone who would have just had the capital ready to open a restaurant, a bar, or done
Right.
it before, they just would have done it. So
Interesting.
I wouldn't want to give anyone that
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
Because, you know, and that's the thing, I heard from a couple people that they wanted to do a champagne bar, and because I announced, they're like, nope.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
They don't think Sacramento's big enough for more than one.
We'll see.
We'll see.
what happens.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers. Mark Bellows here, a tax principal. Wow, the quick cut on the music there, Jay. Mark Bellows, a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen, a national CPA firm with offices an office in Roseville, where I'm headquartered. And I work with businesses and individuals on planning strategy, that sort of thing. And so this time of year is just super busy, super busy. But I am going to have the opportunity after the show's over to do a presentation on the new Tax Cuts and Jobs Act to a group of CEOs and business owners. Looking forward to that. Took a little break before I head back into the office to get on my computer for the next 12 hours after that. I do have a guest today. Amanda, our co-host, is not here today. She had to get off to a meeting, which may very well have to do with her new position. And we'll hear more about that when Amanda joins us. But my guest today is Raymond James Irwin. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, Raymond James?
I'm doing Fizztastic. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you. And so, Fizztastic, because you are will be opening.
Yeah, we're opening Sacramento's first champagne and bubbles bar in the entire region.
First so far.
Yeah.
First and only.
We'll see see what happens after, but we can't wait.
Great. So it's going to be where's it at, the location?
Yeah, we're in Doco, so downtown Commons, right next to the new arena, right next to the Kimpton Sawyer Hotel. So really exciting place, right on the main corridor. So right now, Haagen-Dazs is open, Estelle's just opened, and I'm smack dab in the middle.
And how much space do you have?
We're just over 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
So it's a nice size. We have a private dining room. We're going to have about 45 seats, a great bar. We'll have a patio. Super awesome, facing the arena. I mean, we were really like 20 feet away from both. It's pretty
That's
awesome.
great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So how did you decide on a champagne bar?
I love champagne, and I just found out so do a lot of people, and we don't have anything like it, and we don't have a place to just get together and celebrate with champagne, celebrate the everyday little things to the big things. And so, for a couple of years I've been working on this project, and then for a couple of years before that, been ruminating on this project, and here we are.
So have you been to champagne bars in other locations before?
I have, and that's actually 4 or 5 years ago. I was performing in Chicago, and it was the first time I was ever in Chicago. And so, like any good millennial, on my day off, I'm looking on Yelp for a place to go get a drink, go get some food, and this champagne bar popped up called Pops, and Pops is the oldest champagne bar in the country. It's been there since the late 70s, and I thought, well, that's amazing. I've never heard of a champagne bar, and this was 2013. And so I go, and I'm immediately just transfixed and enamored. Just the joy, the happy, everything. As soon as I walk in, and they had every age demo. I've never been at a bar that had every age demo, just all together, getting multiple glasses, multiple bottles, and just having a really happy, energetic time. And that stuck. And I love champagne before that, but that really made it for me the idea that I can have it every day, all the time. So that started it. That put in my mind.
So and I'm not like super familiar with Chicago, but what part of Chicago is it? Downtown? Is it along the water?
It's near. I don't know if you know where the big Weber grill restaurant is. But it's kind of by Pizzeria Uno and Due.
Okay.
I can't remember
Down
which side.
But an area.
There's a river. I think there's a river over there. River's End, North End, something like that.
Okay, yeah. Nice. So that was the first one you've been in. Have you been in other champagne bars since?
Yeah, so there's a couple that are in New York that are doing phenomenally well. There's one in Chicago there's one in Portland, there's one in Seattle. There's a new one in San Francisco called the Riddler. If anyone's in San Francisco, I highly recommend going there.
Whereabouts is that?
That is in Hayes Valley.
Okay.
Super awesome, similar concept. All of them, that's the neat thing. They're all a very similar concept, following a similar formula. And what's really neat, all of these champagne bars owned by people under 35.
Wow.
I think that's very cool. So it's
what,
pretty youthful.
other than the Chicago one? They would have been fine with it.
Come to go check out the one in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's neat.
So the one in Portland's awesome too.
Sorry, what you said is they all follow a similar format. So what is that?
Yeah, small plates, not trying to do a full kitchen, not trying to be a full restaurant, not a full bar. Really focusing on the champagne, focusing on the sparkling wine, having great small plates to accompany it, like cheese boards, charcuterie. I'm going to do sashimi. None of the ones I've been at except Pops does sashimi. But when I was actually in the Champagne region last year, every champagne house I went to, they all kept talking about, this pairs great with sashimi, and all these sushi bars were popping up in the Champagne region. And so I want to really pair that with some fresh fish, do some cool sushi rolls now and then. So I have some really unique things: oysters, caviar, potato chips. It's salty food goes great with champagne.
I would imagine. So you said champagne, and then you said sparkling wine. What's the difference? I'm not.
I mean, it's our nomenclature these days is we kind of call anything that's bubbly, fizzy champagne.
Right.
But technically, champagne can only come from the Champagne region of France. It's a specific wine region there, and there's like probably 450 villages in the Champagne region. So it can only come from there. If it's from California or America, it's sparkling wine. If it's from Spain, it's cava. Italy, prosecco. So it just depends on the region. Is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's all fizz.
And you've been to the Champagne region?
I've been to the Champagne region several times. I've been to Spain, to the Cava region. I've been to South Africa, to their Cap Classique sparkling wine region, and I'm really excited that I've been invited to go to what's called Le Printemps, which means the spring in French. And it's the biggest champagne event of the year in Champagne, France, and it's April 12th through the 17th. So I'm going to be flying out really quickly, to go to that and basically meet with some more growers, meet with some more producers, importers, and because my goal is I want to bring the best champagne, best sparkling wine to Fizz, to Sacramento, and really give Sacramentans a taste of just incredible stuff that they can't get anywhere else.
So What's your thought in terms of how many offerings do you plan to have in terms of champagne and or sparkling?
Yeah.
wine?
So total overall for the champagne and the sparkling wine, we're looking at having about 60 different types of bottles, 60 different wines, and then by the glass, about 12 to 14 different types. And again, that'll range from California sparkling to sparkling from South Africa, New Zealand, champagne from France, other sparkling wines from France. So we really want to showcase a broad variety because we believe, my investors and all the people that are involved with Fizz, that there's more than just great sparkling wine than just from Champagne, France. There's great stuff from California. There's great stuff from Spain, and we want to showcase all of it.
Okay.
So it's just, it's a really great breadth and price points that are affordable for everyone. We have $8 a glass all the way to about 26, a couple half glass options, bottles starting at about 30, all the way to 1,000, depending on the type of night you want or day you want.
The type of night you want.
Yeah. What are you celebrating?
Right. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we get back, we will continue our conversation with Raymond James Irwin, the proprietor of soon-to-be opening Fizz Bar?
Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar.
Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar in
Yeah.
downtown Sacramento. We'll be right back. I'll get some water. You're good?
I'll take some water.
Okay.
Is that
So far, so good, I think.
But yeah, I think it's really interesting because a lot of people don't know that champagne is strictly from Champagne.
Right, yeah, I think you're right. People think
Anything is. But the
bubbles.
champagne, so there's a committee overseeing champagne. If you use
I
champagne,
imagine, yeah.
and they've won huge cases.
Well, they got to keep their
They do.
brand,
They
yeah,
got to keep
yeah.
their brand.
Yeah.
How long is a commercial break usually? Oh, I guess. No, it's...
And we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5. And today's guest on the show here is Raymond James Irwin, the proprietor of Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar. Did I get that
Yeah,
right?
you got it.
Finally. Jeez, okay. Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar, which will be opening when?
In August.
August.
Yeah. And
Are you going to have a soft open? When?
yeah, we're really excited that we're going to have some really cool pre-opening parties, which are going to kind of act as soft opening openers. So you get to be part of those pre-opening parties if you are a Fizz Club member.
Ah, very good.
Yes,
Of course, you're going to have a
yes.
Fizz Club member.
Of course you do. All
I'm sure
these
you'll
bubble
have
heads.
an app.
A what?
An app. I'm sure Fizz will have an app.
Oh, yeah.
So, the millennials, you guys have all that stuff. It's an important part of
We
it.
have our little pods. We're all ready to go.
So, excuse me, let's go back a little bit with
Sure.
you personally. Maybe tell us a little bit about your background
Yeah.
and how you got to this point.
It's a pretty crazy past few years. My degree was in opera, funny enough, and
This goes back to you saying you were performing in
yeah,
Chicago,
from
right?
Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I got a degree from the Cleveland Institute of Music. It's a conservatory in Cleveland, Ohio, and in voice performance,
Okay.
and also got a marketing minor at Case Western Weatherhead School of Management. And so anyway, I went to Europe afterwards. Was invited to sing at several festivals and places throughout Europe, in Italy, in France, in French Canada.
In singing opera.
Yeah.
And you have not bass, I would guess.
Well, my
What is it?
melodious radio voice is not as accurate for singing. No, so I would be a tenor.
Tenor,
So
okay.
yeah, I'm higher. Maybe it does sound like that, but yeah. So sing some higher stuff. A lot of Mozart, a lot of Handel, Rossini. But anyway, yeah. So I did that, but I realized that I loved singing so much, and I didn't want to have to make that how I earn my living necessarily, to feed myself. And so I decided, let's take a step back. Let's come back to Sacramento and let's decide what's next. So then I thought, well, I loved marketing, I loved PR communications, I was really good at that, and so I thought I'm going to go into marketing for opera, for arts programs, and eventually become the ED. And then while I was studying to go get my MBA, a really good family friend had a lucrative insurance agency. Their business partner passed away and basically wanted me to come on and train as an apprentice to kind of take over the business, and thought, well, let's go for it. I'm young and let's give it a go. And turned out I was really good, really liked it, became the personal lines manager, and I ended up leaving that insurance agency to go to another to become the vice president of workers' comp relations. So I just went up that kind of insurance ladder, but through all of that, this idea of champagne just stayed with me after being in Chicago. And so eventually your co-host, Amanda Blackwood, she, her and I would get together a lot, and we met one time and she said, Raymond James, you talk about Fizz. I didn't have a name then, but you talk about it so often. You stop talking about it, you need to do it. And that was 2 years ago.
Wow.
And so
she's the impetus behind
she is.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is. I give her so much credit. So Amanda, thank you. And so then I decided, let's get to work. And then that's when the planning stages started happening. And then I went through the whole where we are now. So which is just a whole nother thing. I mean, you have to start doing the research, seeing what's out there in the market, going to these other champagne bars, seeing what's out there, seeing the formulas, seeing what are the stats on champagne, what are people drinking, do they really want it, is there a need, are you making that need, and then do your business plan, get investors, get a bank, get a location. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that's involved in starting any type of business.
Any type,
and so you had business experience with the insurance agencies.
I did.
Did that translate over to what you were starting to do with Fizz?
Well, so I
may do so later, but
right. Well, and I forgot to mention. So during my time in college, I got to work at the top restaurant in Cleveland. So it's called L'Albatros Brasserie and Capitale, and I got to work under Master Sommelier. There's only like about 20 or so in the United States, and he was our GM, and he was just incredible. And he actually just was up for an Oscar for something else. I mean, just like an amazing man. And taught me everything I knew, and I worked all the way from the bottom just under him, in pretty every position, back of house, front of house, for 4 years. And I loved that. I love that service, and it's something that I've continued in my life, and that's translated into other things, and it's translated into Fizz,
Oh, yeah, imagine so.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is providing top-notch service, but in a really fun, relaxed environment, because, Sacramento, we're a really cool climate where we're fine with spending some money, going out and having a great time.
Yeah.
We want to be casual. We want to like go in jeans and a t-shirt, or not make it really fussy and not make it snooty. And that's what I'm trying to show with champagne, is that it doesn't have to be this snooty, high-end thing. It's if you're going to reach for a glass of red wine or white wine, Chardonnay, Pinot, Cab, reach for a glass of Fizz. It's a lot more fun. So.
By the way, will you serve wine there? Or anything other than, of course, sparkling wine, but anything other than champagne or sparkling wine?
We are going to have some still wines, Pinots and Chards, because
still wines.
Still wines.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the nomenclature there.
Gotcha.
So Pinot and Champagne, or Pinot and Chardonnay grapes, are the grapes that go into making champagne. So we want to keep everything focused around that, but still have stuff. So we'll have some Chardonnays, some Pinot Noirs. We'll have some great beers on tap, some really local beers, utilizing champagne yeast. How fun is that?
Okay.
And then some really cool ciders. Lambic, so we'll have really something for everyone. So, I don't want anyone to feel like Fizz wouldn't be a cool place for them to go. It's definitely something that'll appease everyone before a game, after game, before an event, after, or a happy hour, or for a hotel guest.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So Amanda said, basically, you need to get this going. So what did you do from there? Was the business plan the first thing you did?
Yeah, it was, and that was, I had done that in college before, but to actually put it into practice, it's so different. And one thing that I knew, and I knew I was in this program called the Nehemiah Emerging Leaders Program. Amanda's also a graduate.
It's a great program, by the way.
Phenomenal program.
Yeah,
Highly recommend it. If anyone's listening out there that really wants to strengthen their leadership skills, just become a better leader, take to the next level, Nehemiah Emerging Leaders Program. Totally.
Nehemiah Emerging Leaders Program.
Yeah,
great program.
NELP.org. Yeah, and so anyway, going through that, I realized that I didn't know everything. I wasn't going to know everything, and get people around you, part of your team, who do. And so,
which, by the way, as I've been doing the show for 4 years, I've had a lot of entrepreneurs on, and every single one of them has said basically the same thing. You got to have a team of people that know what they're doing around you.
Yeah, my Me Inc., my Raymond James Irwin Inc., you got to, who's going to be on your board of directors. It's super crucial to have that. And honestly, I just started going out to people. I just started out reaching out, making calls, making emails to a lot of them I didn't even know. And then through a lot of my NELP connections, Nehemiah connections, you know, I reached more people, and just got great people around me to really look at what I was doing, to bring me to other people, and fine tune my plan, my business plan, so I could then reach out and get investors.
So how long was the process to get that business plan together to the point where you can start reaching out to investors?
Probably 3 to 4 months.
So
honestly.
you wrote it, then you had people read it, they gave you feedback, you got to talk to other people.
Mhm.
So a very collaborative effort.
Had to be, well, and on the financials too, right? Like, that's one thing I'm very honest about. You know, I didn't have that math background. That was never my forte per se, you know, doing all those projections. So
is there any opera about accounting or taxes?
there isn't, you know,
Oh, yeah.
scales,
Hard to believe.
keys, but yeah.
Okay.
And so I got all those people, and after I did that, I went to Champaign too, because, you know, as much as you can learn and read on paper, you need to go there. You need to see it. You need to get those experiences. So then when I'm talking to people and for investors, and then when I'm talking to my future clients and my patrons, I want to be able to really talk to them intimately about what they're drinking. And so when I went the first time to Champaign, I was there for 3 weeks, and I went to 40 plus champagne houses. There's a lot of champagne houses. That's like 4 a day, and I was tasting probably 15 champagnes a day at least.
You know, when you taste, do you is it like swirl it around and spit it out?
Yeah,
or
you gotta
swallow,
spit.
or
You
what
gotta
do
spit. So you know, you basically you champagne overall, you don't really want to swirl because it is carbonated and that loses carbonation.
Yeah.
But when you're tasting it and you're really trying to decipher it, you can you swirl just a tiny bit, and then you taste, you spit, you taste, you spit, you taste again. You can maybe swallow it, but again, you got to be careful if you're drinking
15
a lot.
of them. Yeah,
around 15. You know, bring those baguettes. Have those baguettes ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you know, I went there, did that, got a lot of research, met a lot of great people, made great contacts. I mean, great stories with great champagne houses, meeting the patriarchs, the matriarchs of them, and then coming back and then getting a broker to look for spaces, and then reaching out to get investors. And well, actually, the very first thing after I got back from Champaign and had my business plan was go and incorporate, go and become a legal entity, because I hadn't done that yet.
Right.
So I did that, Fizz LLC, and then went out to investors, was looking at spaces. Yeah.
So were they all the investors? Were they people you knew who'd expressed an interest, or did you also, or was it a combination?
You know, it. At
And
first,
how did you
nobody
get
expressed
exposure?
interest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I mean, I wasn't telling.
Conceptually.
Well, conceptually,
Yeah.
yeah, because I wasn't telling two people yet. You know,
Right.
I mean, I was keeping it select because, of course, you know, the last thing you want is for someone to steal your
Sure.
idea, right?
Sure.
And it's because it is new. There isn't anything like it, and great opportunity for someone to take who's done a restaurant before, and
to be the first one.
to be the first
It's gonna
one.
be huge.
It is. That's how we're going to do it right and
Yeah.
do it well. But so you know, honestly, it was just reaching out to people. It was just taking stabs with dark people that I knew that could have capacity for investment. I would just reach out to people that I knew that had invested in other things, and then again reaching out to my network base and people that I had become acquainted with in Sacramento. Just, hey, who know that might want to invest in a champagne bar? Do you want to invest in a champagne bar? You know, and just really getting them excited, because that's what it's about. You want if you're looking at getting investors, you A, got to be really excited about what you're doing and what you're offering, and B, you have to get them excited.
Yes.
That's the number one thing.
And one of the things I've seen too is that it's not uncommon, I think, is when you start going to investors, sometimes they'll give you feedback which will result in a change or revision of your business plan. Did you experience that?
You know, what's funny is I didn't experience that too much with investors. They all really liked what I had, to be honest. I mean, it was 120 pages. it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of pushback, or I shouldn't say pushback, but discussions and potential revisions from the first location landlord that I was looking at being with, and you know, we were in talks starting last February.
And so when you're talks with this potential commercial landlord, they wanted to read your business plan to see who it is they're releasing to?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And they did, I think, read a lot of it, I think. But you know, it was interesting because it was something where they were really excited at the beginning, and you know, we talked about things and it felt good, but then kept being like, well, what about this? What about this? And you know, what I learned from that, and it ended up after about 4 months, of kind of back and forth, we realized it wasn't the right fit. I think both of us probably
because they had a vision for what their space would be.
Yeah.
And they're either trying to get you to conform to their vision.
Right. And that's another thing I would just say to anyone out there who wants to start something or is doing something. There's definitely room to be changed and mold, but at the same time, I really recommend do not change the general idea of what you want to do. If someone doesn't want that, then that's not the right space for you. If someone doesn't want to invest, that's not the right investor for you.
Right.
You have an offering, and they take it or they leave it. You can make minor adjustments, but don't change. And Fizz knew what we need to be based on other champagne bars, and again, that's similar formula, and we wanted to stay that route. So,
and that's really good. I think that's really good advice. Is that don't stray from what it is you really your initial vision. I mean, it can be modified here and there, perhaps.
Right.
I think it's important to stay with what you want to do.
And keep that belief, because as soon as you kind of waver, that's when there's potential to not succeed as well, or to just falter.
You've got to be your own biggest cheerleader, believer, faith.
Have strong faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if not you, then it's not going to go anymore. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to go back and get in a conversation with Raymond James Irwin of the soon-to-be open in a few months Fizz Bar. See, I've already forgotten.
Fizz Champagne,
Fizz Champagne
and
Bubbles Bar.
You'll get
FizzandSack.com. We'll be right back. I wrote it down.
Good. Yeah. No, it's Fizz works too. Like, we go by Fizz both, but as far as overall, it's helpful with a Fizz Champagne Bubbles Bar. But because people not be no guess. But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I spent 4 months on that location, and it was just so frustrating. And what was really interesting was he was showing all my business plan and everything to other people of his, which, like, his just friends, his Me Inc., right? And while I don't necessarily mind that, he didn't ask me at all, and that I didn't appreciate. And I would just get emails from him being like, look at what this person said, look at what this person said. And a lot of it was just, I just would have to reiterate the same thing, like, well, yeah, I've said that, this is this, or blah, blah, or like, blank, this is what we've said. I know, I understand, and here's the reasons why. And it just kept being this back and forth thing where it was just always something else, and it was just like, it doesn't work. 4 months.
It'd be almost worth to get an NDA, non-disclosure agreement with people when you give it to them. But I don't know if that's like a standard practice in the commercial rules.
And my mom's an attorney, and that was something that from the very beginning of Fizz, even with my commercial because I fired my first real estate broker, and after that, he was before this deal actually, but but I was making everyone sign those non-disclosures. I didn't make him sign, and maybe I should have, but it's not like he wasn't going to go tell anyone to do the idea, but it was just very much, he wanted it in he decided that he didn't want me to have this location, wanted me to have a different, it was just one thing after another. It was like, what, we're going to just move on, and I'm glad because it was going to be in the Icebox, and Icebox I think is cool, but I'm really glad it is where it is. I think where it is, I think in Doco is really where it will shine majorly.
Is Icebox like R? Is that, okay. Did you have any other areas you considered? Or did you always
I was looking at Midtown. I would have loved, like, the spot where Revolution or 360 or 58 Degrees, Wines is, or somewhere, over like on L and 18th area, somewhere in Midtown. But it was always going to be either Midtown or downtown. Okay. I would have loved there to be a champagne bar in Fair Oaks, but the supply and demand won't work in Fair Oaks, right? You got to go where it's going to be the best to succeed, because Fizz wants to open a second location. And, off the record, we want that to be in the Fountains. Okay, so remember you're on Facebook. So. Yeah, don't
Which
tell
actually
anyone.
would be a good, I can see that totally fitting in there.
I think, and we there's a lot of things we want to do.
You also go like the Folsom Palladio, or is that a different kind of demographic?
It's just...
The Fountains a little bit,
It's, because you got Rockland, Granite Bay, Roseville, they just converge on the Fountains,
right.
And then we want to do it Fizz truck. There's so many cool things, and then open other locations, eventually do importing. We want to do really cool things.
Fizz truck?
A Fizz truck, if you've seen a beer truck, it's a Fizz truck.
I have seen beer trucks.
And they're very popular. They do very, very well.
What about, are you going to do the Fizz bite, experience downtown.
Now that would be fun. Shoot.
No,
Should do a special night. I should get the beer guys to do a special
Yeah.
night for that. That's a cool idea. I like that.
And we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers. This is Mark Bellows, tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen in Roseville. My number is 916-784-7800. If you want to talk to me about your tax situation or you have questions, of course, we won't be able to do much between now and April 17th because it's just too busy, but certainly we can talk and push it off till after. Our guest today, Raymond James Irwin, with the proprietor and opening up in August of Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar.
Yeah, there you look at
I wrote
that.
it
You got it.
down. Yeah. FizzandSack.com or social media you can find them at Fizz and Sack.
Yeah.
At Fizz and Sack. And so off air we were talking about the location. And so I was asking, did you consider other locations when you found this one? Because you mentioned
Yeah.
you were working with that one potential landlord for
around
for
our
months.
street. Yeah.
Okay. So you looked at other locations, but you really were thinking midtown, downtown.
You know,
idea
yeah,
for
I knew
this
that
concept.
again. Just being a Sacramento, living in Sacramento, being involved in the community, both downtown on the grid in the burbs. That the energy right now. That this is where it would be. People are really wanting to just go from their houses, walk, take light rail, ride their bike to go have experiences, eating, drinking, everything. And I was really excited when the Doco opportunity came up because that's just the central point now. You know, that's where everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to go. They're selling out giant concerts. Amazing acts are coming. A beautiful new hotel, and it's so close to everything. And with the revitalization on K Street on the 700 block, and the great businesses that are now in Doco, I mean, I think it's just such a winning combination. And it's a fun combination. Like, for me to be next to a great ice cream place and then a French bakery and then a champagne bar. I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah.
It's a one-stop shop, really. So yeah, I absolutely love the location, and I think this is going to be a place where people from the Capitol will come. People that work on Capitol Mall can go after work. You know, people can have private events there, and then I want this to be a spot for locals. I am a local. I'm a Sacramentan, born and raised, and I want people who live here, love the community, to just come and let this be their bar, be part of the Fizz family.
I was going to ask you, how did you end up back in Sacramento? Or how did you end up in Sacramento, but it's back
Well,
in
I was
Sacramento?
born here.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
born at Mercy Hospital in San Juan. But it was just, deciding after I wanted to take a little break from singing to decide, am I going to go get my MBA? What am I going to do? I thought, let's come back home. This was my home. My mom was born here. My grandparents started a business here, 60 years and running, Awards by K on El Camino.
Oh,
Avenue.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think my children have gotten trophies
Trophies,
from Awards by
flags,
K. I'm
promos,
pretty sure,
we
that
did
sounds
everything.
really, I recognize that.
Yeah.
Awards by K.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I like to say I come from this long line, or this line of entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
business owners. And so, I just wanted to come back to Sacramento, and I just got really involved in the community with Metro Edge, which is a wonderful young professionals organization. Got into Nehemiah, and just really loving where I was. And it was a different Sacramento than when I left from high school, to go to college and then come back. And I realized this is where I want to be home. And with, again, the revitalization of downtown and midtown, and great things going on in the suburbs, and I just was like, this is a great place. This is a place that I want to be, and I want to see continue to be on the rise and jump over that leap, which I think we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. So to continue the whole process, you met with
Yeah.
investors and gave them the business plans. You were starting to get some people signing up, if you will.
Yeah.
Some
But
saying,
I
we're interested.
mean, it's funny because I think as millennials we want things to happen very quickly, and we're so excited.
It's not just millennials.
That's
but yeah,
true. That's
yeah,
true.
There's
That's
a
true.
lot. Yeah.
It's true, but and so what I think is important to realize is it is a process, and it's something that. If you ask one person or you meet with someone and you got to work on that relationship too, it's like getting clients. You have to talk with them, gain their trust, gain their interest, get them excited, keep them excited, and then really go in and say, I want you to be part of this. I want you to invest. This is going to be really awesome. And you know, I had really good success, but of course there were certain people that either we'd meet and they'd say no, or if we meet and they wouldn't return a call, or you know, whatever.
Sure,
and you have that mix. But yeah, you just kind of start setting up meetings, and you know, that took some time. I mean, it started going from probably January last year to probably September of this year of raising funds.
Okay.
You know, so I took my time, but for me it was really important what caliber of investors I had, who I had on the team.
Right.
Did I have people that really believed in this community? Were they from the community? Were they active? Because for me, again, Fizz is really about the community and bringing something of value to the community. And
and that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
So are all of your investors local?
They
Or at least have an interest in the community, let's say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And only 2 don't live in
Okay.
Sacramento region, which is great. And so
Yeah.
there's about 24 or so investors,
Okay.
and only 2 don't live here. But they own wineries in Napa, so it was great to have people
Yeah.
that own phenomenal wineries, you know, be part of Fizz. But yeah, everybody else. I mean, I firmly believe in diversity. I think Sacramento is one of the most diverse cities, and we're very blessed for that. You know, so I mean, I have pretty much every age, race, demographic, you know, everything you can think of in Fizz. It's a very diverse, collaborative group that has great spheres in the community in their own reaches, which I think is important to just not have this insular little garden party group of investors.
That's great. And so you went to the investors, you started getting them to sign up. Now, did you also end up looking for some type of either bank or institutional financing as well?
So you know, that's something.
Tell us a little bit about that process.
Right. Well, it's something that every person who's starting a business needs to decide. Are they going to want 100% investor capital? Are they going to want 100% bank loan? Are they going to want a split, a mix? I decided I wanted to split. I wanted kind of 50% investor, 50% bank.
Okay.
For, you know, just retaining interest ratios, all that stuff. So, you know, I started talking to some different people, and again, a couple of my investors, you know, they had suggested 5-Star Bank. And so they were the first bank I went to. I didn't know anything about 5-Star Bank really, except that they were a community bank. And so you know, I met with John Gregory, their VP of what's it, basically entrepreneurial startup business loans.
Yeah, I forget his title.
Yeah, sorry, John.
John's relatively new to 5-Star. He's been there with us, but yeah,
but huge experience.
That's his role. He's been involved for
big
startups,
stuff.
if you will.
Big stuff, yeah.
Years.
And so anyway, you know, just had a great meeting, and he was excited. Their whole team got excited. Mike Rizzo from there got excited. They loved it. James Beckwith loved it. I mean, it was so neat to see a bank.
They're all looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, right. No, they are. They're wanting to pop bottles.
I'm sure.
But you know, it was just exciting to see a community bank that really cared, that really puts entrepreneurs on a pedestal, that really wants to. I don't want to say take that risk, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a risk, and everyone is risking everything. And you know, I mean, they decided they want to take a shot on me, and that was a huge honor. And just to be able to have a CEO and president of a bank like James Beckwith just come and want to chat with you and chill with you and talk with you about things just nonchalantly, like that was cool. And so they all agreed, yeah, let's give this guy some money. And you know, what was just really interesting about that, and why I tell the story, because I think it's good to know, is I already had that funding, but I had another investor who said, you know, I am on the board of this other community bank, or I've invested in that, and I want you to go to them. And I said, sure, you know, you have a vested interest. Let's talk.
Right.
Let's see what kind of terms they can offer, what they can offer.
Sure.
So they connect to me. I fill out all the paperwork, all that good stuff, and I get a call from like one of the top VPs there, like exec high VPs. As a courtesy call, basically saying, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that, and we probably don't think any bank is going to give you funding, and have you heard of crowdfunding? And it was just like, ouch, you know, that's kind of an ouch. And not there's anything against crowdfunding, but just to insinuate, you know. So it was just kind of funny for me, because it's like, actually, 5-Star Bank is a great bank, has already promised me X in this.
Yeah, I mean, good for you. You're in a position where you'd already had a commitment from a bank, which is good. Unfortunately, sometimes entrepreneurs will run into that denial first.
They will.
And you can't let it get you down.
No,
and I think that's the spirit of an entrepreneur anyway, is they just go, okay, I'll go to the next one.
Right. And you know, I mean, that just kind of segues into just the idea of, okay, if you are an entrepreneur, you got to know there's going to be those times where you're going to get no's, you're going to get objections, but don't let it stop you. If you really want something, just go. And you know, I say, take the leap first, and then the courage comes. But you got to jump. You just got to
Agreed.
jump.
I think the leaping gives you the courage.
It does.
Yeah.
It totally does.
Yeah.
And so again, grateful to 5-Star. I just highly recommend anyone if they want some great banking, community banking. They are an entrepreneur. They really like you. They're not paying me to say this, by the way.
Yeah, you're not a paid spokesman yet.
No, I am not. Not yet. Yeah.
So, so you got you're getting money now. At some
Yeah.
point, you have to start putting out money. And so, when did that start?
You know,
was it with the space, or was it with other things?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was one of the first people I hired, got on contract, was my designer for Fizz,
Okay.
because I knew that was going to be crucial. Again, looking at everything I was seeing, the formulas, seeing all the champagne bars, and just knowing about Sacramento, the space is so crucial. What is the vibe? What is this experience going to be like? And that starts with the design. So I had just read a great article in the Business Journal at the time about Whitney Johnson. And she is a top hospitality designer, so for bars, restaurants, for Miles Treaster and Associates.
Okay.
And I just called her and in last February, and I said, I want you to be part of Fizz. I'm opening the champagne bar. You need to be part of it. How can we work together? And so, we negotiated, worked out some things, and I talked to several people, but I knew she was the one. So she was the first person, and I had to start paying, and you have to start paying. You have to get your attorney too. I got an attorney before,
Good.
suss out those attorneys, business attorneys, contract attorneys, all of that. And, just bring really great people on the team. Again, that's super important, and who you're going to pay on your team is super important. And, so it was just good choices made. Whitney Johnson's been amazing. If you haven't seen some of the renderings for Fizz, check it out online.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation with Raymond James Irwin, the proprietor of Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar, which will be opening in downtown Doco.
Doco, yeah.
In Doco in August of this year. We'll be right back.
Sorry, I got a little rambling with Whitney.
Susan Roche Nelson, do you know her?
Susan Roche Nelson.
She said she can't wait for Fizz to open.
Oh, good. People, I mean, seriously, our social media, it's like insane. I mean, when the very first article about Fizz came out last, February 28th, so a year ago, when the first thing came out, Business Journal, it was their most viewed article. It was the very last day. And, I mean, it had hundreds of comments. And then when we signed for our location in Doco, and there was huge press about that for 2 days from every major publication. Thousands of comments, likes, shares. I mean, all positive. It was great.
Yeah.
And then our everything's been organic. I've not paid for anything, and our website. I mean, we have over 1,200 people that have signed up to be on the website.
Wow.
I mean, we have almost 3,000 people on Instagram.
It's great.
Not paid. It's amazing. Love it.
And we're back. We are on Beyond the Numbers. Here in our last segment of the show today, we've got as our guest Raymond James Irwin with Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar. FizzandSac.com. You can also the @ Fizz and Sac, various social media. So you've got a Twitter presence,
Instagram, Facebook, yeah.
Snapchat.
No, not. We will eventually.
Yeah.
But Instagram stories all the way. So get your Fizz fill on our Instagram.
That's great. So we've only got a little bit of time. Actually, it's going pretty fast today. But when you look at the design, are you modeling after other champagne bars in some way? Or
I'm not. Again, I think every champagne bar that I've seen, it's unique, but it follows a formula of like the menu, the service. The look should all be unique to A, the community, B, the location, and C, just the combo of both. And so we think it's pretty unique. For me, again, I wanted to make it light, bright, happy. So, you see a lot of lighter colors because we want people just celebrating. Our unofficial slogan is we're just popping bottles. It's really it's just a party all the time. And so, really nice, sleek, modern with some Art Deco throwback to when champagne became huge in the 1920s, kind of more worldwide through major marketing champagne houses. And so, you're going to get a really cool mix of those both, with a giant champagne wall. So when you come in, you're just going to see a giant champagne wall that's going to hold about 840 bottles of champagne. So
Nice.
come thirsty.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it's just going to be really cool design. I think people will absolutely love the design.
Did you say there's going to be a private dining room as
There's a
well?
private dining room, yes.
So available for rent,
parties,
weddings,
absolutely.
parties.
And if you
That's
are
right.
in the
And how many people will that hold, by the way?
between 16 and 18.
Okay.
And if you are in the Fizz Club, the private dining room is free to club members to reserve. So, highly recommend being part of that club. There's a
And
lot
you
of
can
cool
go to
perks.
fizzandsack.com to join the Fizz Club.
You can.
Okay.
And what's really cool about the club, we already have pre-opening about 125 paying club members so far, and we just opened up our wait list, made some more spots available, and you can just get amazing champagne that I've personally curated, champagnes and sparkling wines that I've brought from around the world, really great values, really interesting stuff, and just really great deals on that, great deals on additional wines, cases. So there's a lot of cool things, and the biggest thing, if you join the club before we open, you get to come to the pre-opening parties.
Nice.
So that's pretty exclusive.
That is pretty exclusive.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
It's exciting. So what are the hours going to be?
We're going to be open 11:30 to midnight, Monday through Saturday. So, and if you come in 11:59, we will pop you a bottle. So we want people to just come, be happy. And then we are also open on Sunday evenings as well. So, relax and then come have some oysters and some champs with us.
And you had to get a liquor license.
Yeah. So, we decided we didn't want to do full liquor because, again, we just saw that there's so many great craft
And that's
cocktails.
is that a different
It
license?
is,
Okay.
it is. So we decided we wanted to do beer and wine only
Okay.
with off-site exception, which means that we can sell you bottles to go, which is really cool. So not only do we have the Fizz Club and just the strict retail sales where you come in, but you can also just come in any time of the day we're open, pick out eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then grab a bottle and take it.
So that person that comes in at 11:59 can buy the bottle to go.
They could, yeah.
Take it up
Take
to
it
the
back to the
hotel.
hotel. Yeah, look at that.
Are you going to partner with the Kipper to do
Well,
delivery in the rooms? Or can you do delivery?
I am working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we would love to do something like
Sure.
a bottle room service, right,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we can deliver to them,
Amazing, yeah.
have them deliver to their door. And what's cool is one of the managers of the Sawyer is a Fizz Club member, so I'm
excellent.
telling you, we're getting them everywhere. And so we would love to do that. We want to partner in the community. So if you're a nonprofit, I have a big heart for nonprofits. Fizz has a big heart for nonprofits. We'd love to help you out, and for community needs. So yeah, we're really just excited to partner with the community. And but anyway, so we had to get the license, and that surprisingly is a pretty big process.
Oh yeah.
It takes a lot of time. The paperwork is not easy to fill out.
Sure.
No one helps you. Know that,
Yeah.
please. And ABC, it'd be nice if you could make it easier. But yeah, it's giant thing. And then you got to pay some money, and then you got to wait. So it's just now we're just waiting for the ABC to give it to us, and they'll be giving it to us before we open.
Sure.
But everything's on the up and up with that.
Okay.
And that's actually how the story broke about Fizz and its location. Was we
Okay.
had to put our sign out there, posting,
everyone saw
stuff
it, yeah.
flying, everyone saw.
So how many employees do you anticipate having?
We're looking at between 5 and 10. A few in the back, a few out front, some bartenders, a couple servers. I'm going to be there every day, so if you want to come see the
That's where to find you.
the master Fizz Maker, yeah, find me at
Is there going to be a
Fizz.
partial? It's not a full kitchen, presumably.
No, so we call it a prep kitchen because
Prep kitchen, okay.
again, what we found is the best stuff for champagne is prep stuff. It's fresh stuff, oysters, sashimi, cheese, and so that's a really cool thing that Fizz is going to have that no one has in Sacramento is a tableside cheese service.
Mm.
And what's super cool about that is we bring a giant board with all the cheeses we have,
Right.
all of them, to your table, so you can see these giant pieces of cheese, get to see them, smell them. It's about that experience, and we slice right from there onto your plate. So it really brings you in much more than a place where they just bring you out a board and it's like, here you go, right?
Yeah.
So it's really exciting.
And so the restaurant business, if you will, the food service business, whatever they'll classify it,
Yeah.
it can be an interesting, challenging type of business. So,
Yeah, it can be, and it's definitely something, you need to be very sober about it going in. You
Yeah.
need to really understand, what's normal for a restaurant and a bar and what happens. And I think it's 90%, or it's at least 70%. It's crazy, but 70 to 90% of bars, restaurants fail within the first year.
I think I'd heard 90 at one point. So,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so. I mean, that's sobering. So you got to
They fail
really,
within the first year.
yeah.
Interesting.
So you got to really know that going in, and you better plan not to do that, and figure out the plan how
Yeah.
not to do that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons why they fail.
There are.
It
There
can
are.
include location management.
Yep, all of it.
The food, the service, whatever.
The whole thing,
So-
the formula, and see that's the thing. So I think we have an amazing location. Doco's been a great partner. They're a great landlord. The location is phenomenal with the arena. Also, just the concept. Again, there's nothing like this. If you want to have a true champagne or sparkling wine experience, Fizz is your go-to place. There's nothing like it unless you get to Sonoma or San Francisco.
Right.
And yeah, so you have special things that I think will make Fizz really great. And I do have a great background with champagne, sparkling wine, and I feel very confident leading a great team. And we've already had about 20 people reach out with resumes that want to work at Fizz because they're just so excited because people are really excited about champagne.
Yeah, that's great. So if people want to get a bottle and take it to the Kings game, probably can't bring it in the stadium.
We're working on seeing if we could create some sort of mini Fizz experience in the arena, like just have a small little thing there.
Yeah.
And I think they'd like that. They have a really great beverage director there that I'm a big fan of. They're doing great things. So I think we could work together. Again, Fizz is all about collaboration. Even, we were talking off air about collaborating with the bike guys and doing, a Fizz bike ride thing. I think
beer bike.
Yeah. I think that'd be super awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's really unique. Again, it's unique, it's different. We'll have lots of things that you've never heard of. And for me, I really want to get people to know that there's more than just the 3 big names of champagne, and there's incredible stuff that you've never heard of at incredible prices. We'll be able to sell you a real glass of incredible grower produced, like farm to fork. This is farm to glass champagne for $14. I mean, that is a really good deal. And so I tell people, if you're going to go for that 15 glass of cab somewhere, go for the champagne. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah. And you already have some potential expansion plans in mind. So other locations.
Yeah, we're definitely Fizz wants to bring that love of champagne everywhere.
Right.
We want to bring that happiness, that joy, that everyday celebration to people's lives through Fizz. And so we are looking at some other locations. We're looking at another location. Kind of regionally, in the greater SAC region, and doing a portable concept as well. These are 3-5 years down the road.
Sure.
But again, we just see the joy that Fizz brings and the happiness. And we want you to know that if you don't know anything about champagne or Fizz, that's totally fine. We love that. We are not there to talk over you, above you, make you feel silly for not knowing this. We just want to share it with you. It's all about letting you taste great things, sharing great things, having that experience, and then learn a couple things along the way. So we'll bring champagne owners and cellars from all over the world to Fizz in Sacramento. And that's the other thing. When I go to Le Printemps in a week and a half, I'm going to talk about Sacramento, and I just love to say that we're bringing champagne to the capital city.
That's exciting.
It is.
That's
It
exciting.
Is.
So fizzinsac.com is the website.
Yep.
Again, at Fizzinsac.
Yep.
On various social media platforms.
So please follow us. You'll be up to date. Right now we have a really cool contest going on, so I highly recommend if you do have an Instagram to join it. This would be what you do is you go to our location in the Doco Walkway, 615 David J. Stern Walkway. You take a picture in front of our wrap that's on our space, so you'll see the giant Fizz logo. Tag us at fizzinsac.com, #fizzinsac, #photo contest, and we'll be selecting in about a week, and the first prize is going to be 2 reservations for opening night, which is going to be really cool, kind of ticketed reservation thing. Second prize is a great bottle of champagne. Third prize is some Fizz swag.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. We want to get you all excited, come out, be part of the fun.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here real quick. Is there going to be outdoor and indoor seating? Like in
Outdoor
the
and
front?
indoor seating,
Is
yeah.
Seating okay.
So right in front of the door, there'll be a cool outdoor seating, so you'll get to chill out there.
Nice.
And then right on the railing as well, there'll be seating. There's seating everywhere. You'll just see champagne.
Well, we're talking with Raymond James Irwin, Fizz Champagne and Bubbles Bar, fizzinsac.com. So we're going to get a hold of Raymond. Thank you, James. Thanks so much for being on the show
Mark,
today.
thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Have a
Pleasure.
great day, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Cheers.